We've noticed a change in this, haven't we?
What's important, I think, for us to really look at is consumer behavior.
That's how we react as humans. We want it fast, we want it now.
And if you're still using the same marketing tactics, the same messaging, the same approach to that consumer from 10 years ago, you're missing out.
The consumer out there is thinking, there might be a better alternative.
We've found the institutions, we've brought them together in one place. And all of a sudden, you're instantly going in with 6, 7 offers, telling the person who wants to sell their house that I have 6, 7 offers right now. Hello, all my friends, my good-looking people out there. Of course, that's what all listens to this is all the good-looking people. I'm Jason Wells, and this is the Real Estate Consumer Shift. We're back at you with another episode, and I've got my good friend, my always companion,
Tim Evans. Wellsy, what's going on?
Hey,
what are we talking
what's
about
happening?
today?
What is happening?
I think both of our football teams are 2-0.
2-0?
It's
Hey.
early in the season.
But I don't care. It's
I think
2-0.
I think
Others are 0-2 or 1-1.
I think the playoffs is what they expanded out 12 teams this year.
Yep.
I've
Yep.
got expectations now.
Yep.
2-0. Isn't that amazing? Your expectations, like as somebody, our team was picked 16th in the Big 12 to finish. Like 16th, it's weird. 16 teams and 16 teams.
Yeah, we were picked 13th, so
yeah, and they're two of the leading teams in the Big 12 right now.
Yep.
But yeah, we're talking a little bit about expectations and thoughts and certain things, as consumers and how we think and how we process things. And it's interesting. You've got some good data here. Some great research.
Some really great, really like burning the midnight oil research that I did here with my friend Chat. Anyway, you guys don't know him. You don't know him. It's a good friend of mine.
Yeah. Well, AI is something else, and I think you've done a pretty good job. That's one of these podcasts we need to talk maybe a little bit about that.
Yeah, we should. Why?
Yeah, and share how to how to really squeeze that orange.
Yes,
your prompts are like, I see prompt after prompt after prompt. Like, I think you're gonna break it, man. He's just thinking over there smoking. Like, give it a break. ChatGPT's on fire.
It's on fire.
Like
I'm just feeling it. More.
It comes in and says, Jason, stop it. That's your prompt.
Back away. Back away.
This is a real estate consumership, but I know this is good for all application, just how people are behaving out there. And hopefully this segment, you're going to get quite a bit out of it. You could be in any other industry. If you're working with people and psychology of people and how they behave, it's interesting.
Applicable.
It's changed. Yeah,
it has.
Our how we operate today as human beings, it's fascinating to me.
Mm-hmm.
I observe that stuff. I can sit and watch. This is a people watching thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you sit at an airport or wherever you go in a restaurant, you just people watch. And you can
depending where you're at in the country, you guys have some prime people watching spaces out there. Some of y'all, I'm gonna tell you. Others, not so much, but some of you out there, you got some interesting stuff to watch.
Yeah, I mean, vacation. It's pretty interesting. So, with that being said, let's dive into this.
Let's do. When you said something right here at the very beginning, right? That you brought up the impact of expectations and how we behave. Right, and that there's these expectations. You were referencing it in terms of the football playoffs in college football. It used to be that there was,
and we got to let people know you're a BYU Cougar fan. I'm an Arizona State Sun Devil fan.
Right.
So just let us know. Although I'm wearing Texas colors, they're 2-0, but forget them.
That's okay. That's okay. It's the college football appreciation at that point, right? So the expectation, like say last season, when there's 4 playoffs and you got the 1 play-in, but it's really the 4 playoffs, is totally different now this year with 12. It's like, you're saying I've got a chance.
That's right.
Right? And it's really expectations that live and die for things. And I want everyone out there to think about the time when you've worked with a client and the client got just totally sideways with you. They didn't appreciate all the work you were doing, because oftentimes, let's be honest, those clients out there that are very difficult are the ones we're usually putting in the most work for. And it's not appreciated. And you're getting drained on all this that you're putting into it. And you feel like, well, I'm doing all this for them. Well, what I have found is if we would just take a step back, it's not so much about what I'm doing for them. It's about what their expectations were and what I'm not fulfilling. That's really what it comes down to. It's not about what I am doing. It's about they expected one thing and we didn't have a clear communication about what that expectation was supposed to be. And so I'm not getting it, or their expectations changed, because that happens too. But the rise and fall of expectations really is what will determine your success, your positive reviews, everything in your business.
Doesn't it feel like sometimes, like with these clients, that happens just like hanging on by a thread? I got to, wait 1 second. Hold on. I'm leaving the set. I see something. I'm bringing it over.
Oh, it's like, he's found a monkey.
It's like a monkey. And this is, when you said that, I looked over at Jacob's monkey, our producer, and this is how it feels like.
He's got one of those hanging monkeys that was hanging on the door, and that's what it feels like, right? You're just being hung out to dry.
Yeah, we feel like that sometimes. So hey, he's just going to be a part of the show right now, if that's okay.
Welcome.
All right, there you go. Now you're going to look at him too.
Welcome, Jacob's monkey.
Jacob's monkey. He hangs on Jacob's door there. Okay, but yeah, let's talk a little bit about the process, right? Mm-hmm. And how that plays out, because I think it's pretty interesting in how people behave.
It is, and I would say when you look around, that there's a certain level of expectation that everyone has, regardless of what industry that you are in, and that expectation is that I be taken care of.
Yes,
right.
That's number one, and that you understand, I think, my situation.
Mm-hmm. And right there, from going from as broad as you're gonna take care of me. Well, what does that mean? Starts with, well, what's my situation? What's important to me? It then goes into all these layers as to what actually it means to take care of your client, to take care of your consumer. And no two consumers are the same.
No. Boy, if you assume that old saying, we know what that means. Isn't it true? Everybody's story is different. And I always have a piece of me when I'm teaching the team or coaching the team up is never go on and talk at somebody. Understand, talk with them, seek to understand, mm-hmm. and then understand what they're going through, the needs that they have, and those kind of things. And that is powerful.
How do you coach them about doing that? What are your key recommendations when you need to get in and start understanding how to talk with somebody and what's important to them?
And I think this is for everybody out there that's in any kind of position that's selling a product, service, or whatever it might be, is that sometimes we get very pitched. We believe in the product. We understand it. We know what it is. We know what it provides. We know the value.
We know how great it is.
It is great. It is. Yeah, we're passionate about it. And so you come in and you're very pitched about the product, right? And you're just speaking right away to that person about the benefits of the product. You can't wait to dive into
mm-hmm.
it. But all along, you may not know if that's really something
they care about
or want or need.
Mm-hmm.
And the main thing's need or have, a want for it, like you say many times. And that is when you seek to understand, because sometimes you have to throw what you have, what you think's the best thing.
You throw it out.
And you just got to set it behind you. It's like you just got to set the monkey behind you and don't bring it up.
Yep.
Because a few minutes of understanding, you've explored other things that are more important that product may not fit what they're looking for. So the understanding is so critical, and this is a real estate show, but that's in everything. Wouldn't you agree?
It's an absolute everything, because it's a consumer behavior thing. I want to be taken care of, and being taken care of means take care of my needs, take care of my wants. To be able to do that, you have to spend some time getting to know what they are. I think what we have to begin to recognize in real estate is that the consumers want something different than us more often than not. They need us, and they're okay with us, but what they're really looking for, I have some statistics things here, right? Okay. So in terms of what is the seller's motivation more than anything right now that's showing up? It's certainty. More than anything else, a home seller wants certainty in their transaction. They want certainty of when their things are going to sell. And you think about that and how the economy, how our just our regular state of living is so uncertain right now. There's a lot of questions as to what's happening with the economy? What's happening with an election? If I'm going to sell my house, is it going to sell for the amount I need? Will it sell in time? How do I know? The market's changing. They hear all these different things. Yeah. And that can be regardless of industry. Like you could be selling cars and they're hearing the same thing.
Same factors affect it.
What they want is certainty more than anything else. And so The key statistic, according to the National Association of Realtors in 2023, 68, so nearly 70% of all sellers who were selling their home were doing so because of some big life change that had happened in their lives. So they're selling because they've got a job relocation, something, the D's of real estate, the death, divorce, deployment, diapers, right? Those sorts of things. Their lives have changed. And so there's already this tumultuousness in their lives. And now they're going to enter into this, I need to sell my house or buy a house. And they are looking for certainty. So are we giving them certainty? Are you, when you're meeting with your client, before meeting with them and your communications with them, are you communicating a confidence?
Well, that is good.
In certainty?
That is so, because generally we are pitching at them when we have that conversation. Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm here when you need me. I can help you. I can get your home sold.
Got great marketing. But are you really giving the level of certainty that snap of the finger can get exactly what they want, what they're looking for, and deliver the result? That's what they really want, right? They want to know, like, I have a job relocation. I'm starting that job on the 19th of November. I'm moving on the 12th of November.
Whether I'm there without my family or not is a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I have to be there. There's no me not being there. And if my house is still here. I mean,
but those stories they're out there. And that's just one example of how this all plays out.
So I would think that something we have to think about is how it is that I can communicate that certainty to my consumer when they're beginning to enter into that buy or sell cycle, and they're thinking about what they're gonna do, how they're gonna get there. Do I have options that I can help them with? The fact that certainty is not the same as a guarantee. I think we should also recognize that. I know a lot of times people hear certainty and they think that means a guarantee. Like, I guarantee your house is going to sell for XXX, Y, whatever. Well, I don't think that's a wise guarantee. Don't be making guarantees like that. But can you give them certainty that it's going to sell? Can you have a program? Can you have a way of options? We'll use the job relocation. Do you have somebody in connection with where they're going to go that can ensure they have a good rental or they get into a good place? Do you have a way to take care of the house if it's not sold in time, even though the goal is to get it sold in time? Those are the things that bring certainty to them.
Absolutely. 68% of the people, which is up 10% from last year,
right,
were looking for certainty because of a lifestyle change, like a job relocation. It says it very specifically. Downsizing, changes, kids, in schools, that kind of stuff. There's all these different kinds of stories and circumstances that they face. Mm-hmm. So it's no different than us. I notice my patterns. I hardly go to the store any longer. I'm on Amazon. I'll pay a few extra bucks here and there, and I know I can go over to another website and have to, but I know I can get it through them. And there's something to be said for that. Am I the only person out there in the world like that? I think I'm the only one using Amazon.
I think it becomes right. You're keeping. Well, I know some houses are keeping Amazon afloat.
I know all those Amazon trucks are just coming to me. They're not driving around anywhere else, just delivered to me.
But doesn't that still go back to the expectation? You have this expectation that I can go on to Amazon, I can find what I need, I can set the time when I'm going to get it. It's going to arrive at the time when I need it. And boy, I'll tell you, my wife had a birthday this weekend, and I'd ordered a couple things off Amazon to be here in time that weren't. And boy, was I frustrated, right? My expectation was these things were going to be here at a certain time. And okay, fine. I hear you out there, you planners that are like, well, you should have bought that like a week ago. You shouldn't have been buying it on Thursday for it to be there on. I got it. Anyway, my expectation was that it was going to arrive on time. And it didn't. So even though it was said, your product is expected to arrive by between the hours of 11 and 2, and then it's like, oh, just kidding, it'll be here between 2 and 8, and I'm like, are you kidding me? That expectation alone that I had, one, was why I went through and did it, because I felt that there was a certainty that it could happen. And two, when it didn't happen, my expectations were shot, and I was like flustered. It was a situation I couldn't do anything about, and it just goes to show that our expectations will drive so much of what we want, and there is a level of certainty as to why we will transact. If I didn't feel like I could get that within that time frame, I wouldn't have bought it. Now, I was even less likely to go out to the store and go find it and do all that. But the point being, the certainty and the expectations in there were why I transacted it, and then one of them wasn't met. The certainty, it still came, right? And it was only a couple hours later, so didn't turn out to be that big a deal. But
yeah, funny. Quick, this is a story. I know we got to wrap up, but so my wife, I get the shipments, and every other day or something's coming in, a car part or bought seat covers and for my Jeep and bump, new bumper set because bumper deer jumped in front of the Jeep and hit it. So anyways, long story short, all of that kind of good stuff. And she was like, you spend so much money. And it's like, oh yeah, whatever. So you know how the husband-wife thing goes. And then we went to the store the other day, and I'm a very impulsive buyer. I see it as like, oh, that's cool. I may not have a need, but I said, like, maybe in 10 years I'll have a need for it, right? And I just buy it, right? Like a hurricane's going to happen, or we're going to need this. And it drives
in
her
the
absolutely
Arizona desert.
Yeah, we go there to buy, shaving cream, and I'm walking out with 40 other items. You know what I mean? So she just said to me when we were checking out, she said, "No, you just stick to Amazon because you just usually buy the one thing and you're done." But that's how we are, right? We can be sometimes impulsive if we have certain things we want to look at or consider. We want to know that when you go to the store, that's nice because you see certain things that I was going for this, but I see a need for that.
Right.
And that's sort of how real estate, how sellers think about it. They may think they're going one way, but they see something different that could be a better option.
And usually
do you have those options available?
Do you have the options? I don't know I need it until I see it.
Right.
Right. Well, and that's when I realize
that's the point I'm trying to get to.
So something interesting here that I wanted to note too, in terms of the profile for our sellers out there as we wrap up, is that real estate agents versus the DIY of selling.
What's DIY? Just so folks know.
Do it yourself.
There you go.
The do it yourself of selling, the for sale by owner, right? The for sale by owner. Last year in 2023, only 8% of sellers chose to sell their home without an agent. Isn't that crazy? That was down from 12% over the last decade. 12, 13% is kind of where it's been. It's come down. Again, why do you think it's come down? The certainty. Yeah. The certainty of being able to sell it, and especially as the market has done this. Look, here's a graph representation of what days on market were. See how they're like down here at the very bottom?
Show the camera that.
Show that the camera, because like days on market nationally were down under a week. Yeah. Down here in 22.
Well, that's changed.
And now look at that steep rise up.
Interest rates and some NAR changes in there now. There's all kinds of different.
It all inflects uncertainty, and it ruins your expectations. Because sellers, here's what sellers used to do. Sellers used to be able to say, all right, I need to sell my house, so I need to wait. I need to be somewhere in November, so I'm going to go ahead and list my house at the beginning of October. Yeah. And that's all it'll take to sell it. Yeah. Because that's kind of what was happening, right? You get it under contract. By the time you go through the inspection, can clear contingencies, you usually needed 21, 30 days or so to close it, even if you were immediately under contract. Well, consumers are having to adjust that timeline, which can make them a bit more uncertain as to how long it's going to take. Will my house sell immediately and I've entered too early? Will I enter too late and it'll stay too long? Because it's no longer that just like 2, 3, 5 day window to go under contract. When days on market are going up and up, and like here in Arizona, the average days on market are now up over 80 days.
Yeah, inventory start rates.
80, 90 days.
It's Texas, Florida. The U.S. has noticed this across the board. Homes are not selling as fast as they normally was.
Yep, which introduced the reason for us as agents again, and what we can provide for certainty. If you've got a plan, if you've got options, if you have the confidence and even the track record of getting homes sold within a certain period of time, that goes a long way to creating certainty and meeting the expectations of the consumer.
You bet. Hey, if you are a real estate agent, I got to throw this pitch in. I don't like to pitch, but there is a certainty piece that we offer.
Correct, we do.
And that's why we talk a little bit about this.
So, and that certainty is as much it's for options, it's for your own listings. What is that?
Choice, yes. It's choice, it's comparison, it's speed, it's getting the consumer their price, it's delivering all the things that they're looking for in seconds.
Yes.
And you say, well, that's not possible. Well, we're here to tell you it is. And if you want to find out more, we'll say this one time only, go to cashoffers.pro. Check it out.
That's right.
And you'll see everything once it is a subscription. You'll see everything in there for a few $100 a month. I can tell you, it changes the way you do real estate and how you transact with the client.
You actually are able to offer the fact that you sell with certainty because you're going to come in there with 9, 10, 12 offers. So that's cashoffers.pro. I'm Jason.
Tim Evans. Hey, we're not monkeying around here. Like
No monkey business today.
There you go. Take care. We'll see you next week.